Hello, everybody. Welcome to Walk in Purpose. This is episode 8. Um, Walk in Purpose is a platform for men of all ages speaking on mental health, pretty much breaking the stigma that men can't talk about mental health, men can't talk about issues. This is the idea for us coming together, and together we are uplifting kings. This is episode 8. I am here with Herbie Mack, and
Hey, what's going on?
feel free to introduce yourself, sir,
Yeah,
and what
hey
you got
guys,
going on currently.
I'm HP Mack. I'm a advocate for mental health. I struggled learning what it was and how to deal with my emotions. I attempted suicide a few times in my life. I'm blessed to be alive, and I feel like I'm here to tell people like it's okay to talk about mental health. It's okay to express yourself and be emotional, be vulnerable. I think it's fine for that. Some people don't understand the importance of it. So I just really started introducing myself to the world less than a year ago. I started posting positive quotes, and then I took it to the next level and started doing good morning videos with positive vibes or just to make you think. I feel like now we're in an era where everybody look at their phone as soon as they wake up, like, hey, what's going on? So I figured, why not start the day with some positive words? I think it's one of the quotes one of my favorite quotes, a positive thought a day can change your mind. So it's like, why not do that?
Yeah, it really can, and seeing your I know firsthand seeing your videos help me in the morning.
Thanks, man. I
A lot of
appreciate it.
times, like you get on Facebook, you get on IG, you see a whole bunch of negative stuff. You see
Yeah.
something positive, and to be honest, someone who looks like me speaking on an issue that really helps. So I definitely commend you on that.
Thanks,
Um,
man.
you are
Thanks.
definitely one of the first ones who reached out to me. I'm very new to everything I'm doing, and you give me a positive message that really helped. So I'll say thank you for that. It was,
Oh,
yeah.
you're welcome, man. I thought it was amazing to see someone that looked like me
Mm-hmm.
talk about the struggles that they have. Not just saying like, oh, black guys don't struggle. It's rare to see so many of us just be open about it because of the perception growing up. Like I'm from the South Bronx. So growing up, like expressing myself was one of the things that, like, unfortunately, that was something that I was taught. Like, yo, don't express yourself. Nah. You're a guy. You got to be strong. You got to keep everything inside. Not realizing like keeping everything inside is just bottling up. So when everything explode, it's just like everybody looks at you like, hey, you okay? You
Yeah,
tripping? You know. So it
yeah.
was one of the things that I learned. Like, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to
Mhm.
express your emotions. Your emotions, it just make you human. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you anything. It just makes you human. We all go to the doctor for a checkup or a dentist to get, whatever cleaning done. It's just like talking about mental health. You're doing the same thing. You're cleansing. You're getting rid of that pain.
So true, so true. That is so key, and it is. What I'm learning it's okay to express yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay to reach out to people that you can trust.
Yeah.
I'd rather have someone reach out to someone they can trust, and to be looking at someone's funeral, being like, "Dang, I wish I would listen to that person."
Yeah.
You never
Yes.
know how one conversation could save a person's life. You know.
Yeah. No, seriously. So like my my depression started like at a young age.
Okay.
My sister had died from brain cancer at 3. She was 3 during the time I was like 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it was something for me like, damn, I just finished holding my sister. Now she's died. She had died from brain cancer. Like I didn't know how to express myself. So in school, I'm not even gonna lie, like I was just numb. Like I felt like damn near all my classes, not because I was dumb, I was just hurt and I didn't know how to express myself. I didn't know who to talk to. I tried to talk to my parents, but at the same time, they're going through that. Like, you know what I mean? They're losing a child. Like there's a unwritten rule, like the kids are supposed to bury the child, not the other way around.
Right.
So it was just hard for me to understand. So I was depressed, but back in the day, like Google wasn't where it's at and YouTube wasn't really where it's at now. So it was like social media wasn't out. So I was like, how can I go to express myself? Like I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just really depressed. I think my grandmother, actually, she called me. And my grandmother is like one of the biggest factors in my life, right? She called me and she cursed me out. Like never in my life my grandmother cursed me out, but she cursed me out to the point where I needed to hear that. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, hey, I know, you're sad from your sister dying, but you have to understand that that's just a part of life. There's no answers. But don't go to a point where you're depressed, where you're going to harm yourself. Like we love you, like I love you. And it kind of helped me out a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
then like there was still so many layers that I just had. Like I only touched the top layer and I was like, all right, I'm cool. I'm cool. And then after like, some trauma in the Bronx, I was coming home, trying to rush home to take my little sister to school. And in the midst of that, I'm in a shootout, minding my business.
Yeah.
So it was like, yo, this is crazy. Like it's 3 people outside. It's the 2 guys who's arguing. And it's me just minding my business. And then all I hear is just like, the gun getting cocked back. And then you just hear shots.
Yeah.
By far, like, I'm not even 6 feet away from these guys. I'm right there. So I'm running. And then they're not realizing there's somebody else there. They thinking I was one of them. And they trying to kill me. By far, one of the scariest moments ever. So I decided, like, luckily I was able to survive that. I got home safe. And instantly I called my girlfriend up during the time. And I was just like, yo, I had enough. My girl moved out to Tampa. So I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I don't think I'm gonna make it past 21. Like, I'm done. Like, this is it. So I'm running away from my problems, right? In New York, thinking that, yo, I'm gonna go to a different state. Life is gonna be good. Boy, that was a lie.
Uh-huh.
Like, realizing that my problems was coming with me. It wasn't where it was at. It was still with me. And that took me to one of the darkest parts of my life with being depressed. It's like, damn, I have so many I have so many questions and nobody answering them, from my father to my mom. Like I'm young. I don't know the meaning of life. I don't even know where I'm
Yeah.
going in life,
Right.
And when I was able to go, like, move to Tampa, live with my girl, I remember having a conversation with one of my family members, and they pretty much looked at me and was like, yo, your girl is doing everything right. You're not even in school. You're just out here chilling. And I'm just like, well, I'm trying to figure out life. And I remember them looking at me, and by far, it was like, she got her life together. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to do better than you. Right now, you're not looking like you're going to amount to anything. That's the nicest way I can say it. I don't know if you want me to curse on your podcast or not.
It's fine. Let it go.
But they pretty much looked at me and was like, she got her life together and you're not doing shit. So what's the point of being with her? She's going to leave you regardless. And it was like one of the things where it was like soul crushing, because I looked up to these people and I was like, yo, I want to be just like them.
Right.
And that really put me in a spot where like my insecurities was at an all-time high, where like every move I was doing, I was just like questioning everything. I was just making dumb mistakes, But thankfully I finally got like a little bit over it. And then I went to school, graduated. I didn't tell anybody in my family I graduated. And so then like the time I'm getting ready to graduate, I tried to get my parents to come out here, and they was like non-responsive, like, oh, all right, no, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. And I was like, worked my tail off to like get the best grades, to be one of the members of my family, to be like, yo, look, I went to college. I got a degree.
Yeah.
What's up?
Right.
And to get their response was like, so like, all right, that's nice.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, cool. And it triggered something with me. What I always was like battling was like, damn, if they don't care about me, why should I care about myself? Or they're not like even happy for me. And it took me to a part in my life where I tried to attempt suicide. And thankfully, like, my girlfriend during the time, now, well, she wasn't my girlfriend. We was like separated, but we were still like communicating.
Okay.
She had came over to the house, to my apartment or whatever, and she was knocking on the door. And thankfully she did. I don't even know why she came over, but she had found me pretty much laid out, trying to attempt suicide. And I tried to get the help that I needed, because I was broken. And I realized I needed to learn how to heal.
Yeah.
And ever since that changed my life, my narrative. Now she's no longer my ex-girlfriend. She's my wife. You know what I mean? Because of her, I'm able to live another day and be strong about it. I'm able to share my emotions with people and tell them my story without being vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was dope to see someone that looked like me that's doing the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this is perfect.
Yeah. I share a lot of similar situations that you're speaking of, and this is the questions. But this is yeah, this is gonna be. But I share a lot of similar situations in those dark moments. If you feel like, one, if you can relate to this, I'm sure. But you feel like no one's in your corner, and you feel like no one has your back. And on one thing, I always felt like at the time, like you feel like a dark cloud over your head, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like how you said, like you went to from New York to Tampa. You thinking, okay, I'm good.
Life is good. Yeah. Like,
good.
Whatever demons happen back there is back there. Yeah.
But at the time, it's like, no, that cloud is still over your head. Yeah. And the thing is, with us males, it's that stereotype of you can't speak up for yourself. Like, you can't show emotions. Like, you can't cry. You can't express how you feel, to the point where, especially as a black males, to be honest, to the point where we're angry, we get all this bottled up anger inside, to the point where if you do something and explode, dang, what's wrong with him?
Yeah, everybody look at you crazy, like, yo, you
like,
good?
You crazy. Like,
yeah.
And to the point where people you try to reach out, and those moments, you feel like you're searching for answers. You're searching for love. That's why you was like, man, with the college, hey.
Yo, I'm topping the class, man.
Right.
Like, yo, good. Yeah.
And as a black male going to college and graduating, that's rare. Yeah. That's something that should have been celebrated.
One of the thing that really hurt the most, right? Because like all my classmates, all my family's in New York, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I tried to give them enough time, like, yo, if they was going to come down to see that moment, even if I had to chip in money, like, all right, that's all good, because this is a priceless event. Like, you know, the money, I don't care if the ticket's $1,000. Like, yo, I'll give you my whole paycheck because I want, this is something big for the family.
Yeah.
It's not too many, not in my family that's like college graduates, or even thinking about, yo, you going to school? You got, like, you know, that wasn't even an option. Unfortunately, it's like the ceiling is like, yo, just get a high school diploma and a 9 to 5. And I was trying to burst through that ceiling and show them that. And when I see all my classmates and their family there, it's just like, one of my proudest moments is my darkest moment. It's like, damn, that black cloud, like you said, just got bigger and bigger and bigger, where it took me to a spot or to a place where I'm grateful to overcome it. Like, wow, like, yo, I'm still alive. I'm here for a reason. Let me share my story and connect with people to let them know, like, yo, whatever you're dealing with, yo, it's not that deep. Just talk it out and you figure it out.
Yeah, and that goes to my next question. Let's say that someone is watching this interview, right?
Yeah.
And they're at the point where we was at in the past, where they got the dark cloud over their head. They feel like you feel like it's damn near hopeless in a sense.
Yeah.
And we both have been there pretty much. And maybe someone that's listening, what advice would you give to them, saying they feel like it's a dark cloud over their head, they can't express themselves? What advice would you give them to that person?
Honestly, the best advice I would do is try to go talk to someone that you trust, that you know that's like going to give you the best advice, or that's just going to sit there. Sometimes, and I want people to understand, sometimes the best advice is just sitting back and letting that person vent.
Yep.
That is sometimes, like, some people think, oh, no, I got to give them this answer. No, you don't have to. You could just sit there and just let them vent. Like, okay, cool. I understand why you're mad. I understand why you're frustrated. Hey, you ever thought about seeing a therapist, or you ever thought about seeing any, because now we have so much help now, and I love the mental health community where it's like you can go get a therapist for a decent price and talk. You know what I mean? Surprisingly, like, I didn't go to any therapist. I did everything naturally.
Okay.
So like when I started posting and all that, some of the therapists was like, oh, where did you go, like, to get help? And I was like, I learned everything self. Like, I'm self-taught because of my basketball, playing basketball. Like, as a teenager, one of my coaches, and it always stuck with me, was like, what is the weakest point of your game? And I was just like, I don't know. You're the coach. You tell me.
Right.
He's like, all right, I'm going to teach you something. Learn the weakest point of your game and work on it. So what I did was, during my darkest moments, I went to Walmart, bought a book, bought one of those, like, you know, you could just write a regular notebook. You just blank notebook. And I just wrote all my emotions down. And I took a vacation for about actually a month. I took a sabbatical for a month, and I just read through everything, and I just broke it down where I was able to help myself.
Yeah.
So, but you know, the advice I would give is try to connect with someone that you can trust, where you can share your emotions, where they're not going to sit back and turn around. And if anything, just go see a therapist. It's fine. It's okay. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you a nut or anything like that. And that's one of the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, that's great advice, finding someone you trust. And I actually been through that myself, where I reached out to the wrong person, and the person ended up laughing at me, and to the point where I'm in tears, like, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Can you help me? It was my ex-girlfriend. She's like, you're weak for that. And at this time right now, where it's mental health is more welcoming in a sense,
Yeah.
more men are speaking out. Pretty much, this is a perfect time for the person who actually trying to heal themselves, trying to come out of that situation. Where it's I feel like it's less taboo to talk about your feelings.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
it's more like, okay, I can now. You got so many outlets.
Yeah. 5 years ago, you couldn't do this. Now you can.
You
Yeah.
could not do
Because
this.
5 years ago, that's what was my last attempt. Yeah,
Mhm.
about 5 years ago was my last attempt. And it was like, I was trying to do the same thing, like reach out to someone. And I was trying to reach out to like my homeboys. And they all looked at me sideways like, "Are you
Yeah,
tripping, man? Get out of here." And I was
right.
like, "Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Don't talk to them."
yes, and
You
that's
know?
like your you gave a perfect example about how like you say like you're working on your game. What's your weakest point?
Yeah.
And for me, speaking my weakest point. So I thought, because in your head you're your worst
Yeah.
critic.
Yep.
You're thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that. You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like strengthening yourself, you think it's a weakness to be so hard on yourself. That's very key,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
builds your confidence. That's a part of
Yeah.
pretty much growth. You
Yeah.
know.
Definitely
Um,
agree with you on that.
my next question is, so what moment where you like, you know what, I'm a I'm gonna walk through this. I'm tired of this. I'm ready to take a step forward in my journey of healing myself, bettering myself. What was that moment for you?
Oh man. So the moment was when the night I tried to attempt suicide.
Okay.
Um, like now my ex-girlfriend, now my wife, when she came knocking on my door and I woke up from my attempt and I was just like, how? Like, I did some over the counter stuff and I was really trying to be dumb and like less like, like, oh, like I don't want nobody to find me with a slit wrist or anything, like no blood or anything. I just wanted to be low key. And then when she came in and she realized like something was wrong with me, that moment when I woke up to get the door, and I was just like, all right, that's it. I need help. I need help. I need to go get the help that I need. Because obviously I'm still here for a reason.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I took over the counter, like it should have laid me out, but I'm still here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be brave enough to walk through this.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, and because when you're in that dark place, you don't realize like when you're hurting yourself, the pain doesn't stop. You're just passing along to the next person. And that's the thing that people don't understand. So that's why I was like, yo, you know what? I have this generational curse where it's like everybody's like hiding their pain. I'm going to be the first one to stop it. And that
Yeah.
was it. That was it.
I definitely commend you on that. This being the first person, like, you know what, I'm going to overcome this.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I'm a lot of times, especially with us males, we want to hide our emotions. We want to hide our emotions other ways of just drinking or just doing different things. Instead of like, I could definitely commend you on just saying, you know what, I'm going to beat this.
Yeah.
I'm going
Thanks,
to be
man.
one of the persons in my family who's going to graduate college, which is excellent. Salute to you. And being one of the ones say, you know what, I'm going to speak out on how I feel.
Yeah.
I really feel like in your journey of your walking your purpose, pretty much, we have a journey where we have life experiences, we have setbacks, and we have failures. And at the same time, it's our duty to take a hand and reach back to that person and say, hey, I got you. I've been through this. I went through that. So now you ain't got to go through that situation,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely commend you on that, brother.
Thanks, man. I remember, so when I started doing, like my videos and started talking about it, one of my followers, like one of my friends that like, how some people you don't speak to every day, but you see them like on Instagram, you're like, oh, hey, what's up or whatever. They had DM'd me and he was like, yo, thanks, man. Thanks for speaking out. Like, I'm going through this, like life crisis. And I even thought about attempting suicide. So the fact that I know you for years and I didn't realize you was going through this and now I'm going through this, can you help me out? And it was like, oh yeah, of course. And I was able to assist that person. And they was probably within 6 months, you seen like a 180 of like their behavior. And I was like, yeah, that feels good. That feels good. That feels good. I remember having a conversation with my wife and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this motivation speaking thing, like talking and telling my truth. And she was like, all right, whatever. And so I like, I don't know if you know Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eric Thomas is ranked #1 in the world. So I've been like following dude for years, but this time I was like, yo, I'm gonna study him and try to learn off him, but not try to be like him, but just learn off of him to see like, okay,
Yeah.
take some points. 10 months later, I was able to meet him, talk to him and whatnot. So it was like, okay, all right, all right, this is good. This is good. Like, okay, like I was able to really focus and meet this guy and have a conversation with him, then realize like, okay, this is my calling. All right, cool. I think I can do this.
Mhm.
And I remember talking to one of my close friends, and I love her a lot. Like her and her husband are like really cool with me, right? So I told them about it. They was like, all right, I don't know what this motivation speaking thing is, but I'm gonna support you. Like, all right, you're talking about mental health and suicide. All right, I don't know how you make money off of it or do it, but all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like probably 2 months later, they call me or text me in the middle of the night, like 2, 3 in the morning. Like, yo, you up? And I'm like, yeah, like, what's up? And they text me and they're like, yo, my brother got a gun in his mouth. He's talking about killing himself. Is there anything that you can help me out with? By far, like one of the scariest moments that I'm like, yo, I can't even imagine how they feel. So
Yeah.
I gave him some advice. I was like, yo, just don't yell at him. Just try to talk to him and see what's up.
Yeah.
Just talk to him calm and cool, because if you yell, you might trigger something,
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, we're gonna text you back and call you later. And I'm like, all right. So I'm up at this point. It's 3 in the morning. I'm like, yo, I can't sleep.
Yeah. Pretty
And
much.
probably like hour and a half, they text me and it was like, hey, thank you so much for your advice. Where he's good now. And I was like, whew, like I felt relieved. So now when I see them, to see the way they smile and show me love is like, we can't repay you for that. And I was like, okay, cool. Like sometimes we all going through stuff and we just need to talk.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, you're gonna be good at this. I was like, I just want the help, like, but it let me know like, okay, I'm cool. Like maybe this is the field that I need to be in.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I was like, if I was looking for any answers, I think that was it. So like, even when I
Yeah.
speak to him to this day, like, they still give me that, like, yo, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's something that he will never forget. And sometimes we never know how our journey can inspire somebody. I think a lot of times we focus on the wrong things pretty much. We focus on, oh man, I'm posting this and only got 4 likes. I'm posting this and my family ain't supporting me. I'm posting this and this person ain't saying nothing. That person ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
You're like, where's my support? Pretty simple.
Yeah.
In a sense, but a lot of times that one person or that 2 person be like, no, hey, I love what you post. That saved my life.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the greatest feeling in the world, just to have someone attached to your journey, attached to your story, and attached to your purpose, pretty much, which is so amazing. That goes to my next question, pretty much. At this point, you're working on yourself. You get to the point where, like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I really want to take a step forward into bettering myself. So I'm sure at this point, you're building your self-confidence up. Like you're building your self-love up. So my question is to you is, what does self-love look like to you?
To me, self-love is just being comfortable in my own skin, learning like, okay, like you said earlier, man, like stop being so hard on yourself. Like, man, like, yo, I wish I would have said it this way in this video. I wanted to like, no, it's cool. Like learning like my imperfections are my perfections and being confident with that. That's what self-love mean to me. Like it took me a while, honestly, because of social media and, looking at TV, you see these guys 6-pack chiseled and it's like, oh, that's how beauty supposed to look. Like, I'm trying to look like this person, I'm trying to look like that, not realizing like, yo, you are who you are, like own it. And that's self-love. Like I am who I am. Like, yeah, I want to work out and look as good as I can, but at the same time, like if I don't get to that Michael B. Jordan or The Rock type of body, I'm cool with that. And I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? If my woman don't like the way I look because of how I look, oh, I want a Michael B. Jordan, I want The Rock. Like, hey, that's on her. Hey, this is what I am. It's okay. Accept me for my flaws. And that's what self-love is accepting myself for my flaws.
That is a good point. Like a lot of times we put way too much pressure on ourselves, especially when the workout piece.
Yeah.
You're in the gym, I'm in the gym, and you're like, man, a lot of people was attached to, oh, you don't have a 6-pack, and it means you don't look good.
Yeah. Yes. It's
the reason why every time I'm working out, I always take a picture of myself in the mirror and just, and do that because I love how I feel.
Yeah, it's all about how you look and how you feel. Doesn't matter how the next person judge you. I think when I was going to the gym, I stopped because of, obviously COVID. So when I was going to the gym, I was at the gym, and I'm one of the guys that, like, I play basketball, so I don't try to get too big because after a while it affects my shot. So, and my speed. At one point,
that's why my shot is off.
At one point, like, I was trying to get bigger. I jumped to 215, right? My whole life I've been about 175, 215. I was humongous, like slow and all this. I was trying to get like big and bulky. Not realizing it was affecting my game. I looked like a turtle on the court. So I was like, yo, let me cut the weight. Thankfully I was blessed to drop back down to like 165. That's my current weight now. Awesome. And I was like, okay, now I'm back to normal. And this is how I am. I'm comfortable in the skin. And I remember going to the gym and I was like curling about 20, 25 pounds. And this guy next to me, he had to be about 6'5", gets up, look at me as he gets a 50 pounder. It's like, that's all you curling? I'm like, yeah, I don't want to look like that. Like, I applaud you for trying to look like he was as big as a rock. And I was like, that's how you want to look. But not everybody want to look like that. Some people just trying to be in shape. Like, all I want to do, I just want to live. I just want to live till I'm like 75, 80. That's it. Like, I'm not trying to be big because after a while you get to a certain point, it's hard to keep that. The close, like, you don't see that many 50-year-olds that look solid like that. That's not on anything. Like, there's some people out there, but it's like, it's really hard you have to dedicate yourself. And I don't got that time and energy right now. So, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Not to put too much pressure on yourself and not caring about what people think.
Yeah.
The most important opinion is yours.
Yeah, that's it. I'm comfortable in the skin. Like, I'm going to try to get a little bit bigger. But I realized like 215 wasn't good for me. I was looking all fat in the face. I couldn't do it. My knees was hurting. My back was hurting. I was like, nah, I'm comfortable where I'm at. 165 is my build. 175 is the most. And I'm comfortable looking like that.
Yeah. My next question, right? So at this point, you're working on yourself. You're gaining your confidence. And we did speak on how, like, you express yourself, how you feel into your friends, pretty much. Yeah. Next question is, how important is it to have a great circle around you, friends, family, or whoever it is?
It's very important. I never understood this until, like, I was able to get like a mentor, and the gentleman was like, hey, you show me your closest friends and I could tell who you are. I was just like, I don't even know what that means. And then I realized, like, the people that I was hanging out with wasn't good for me, because here I am, like, overcoming my suicide attempt, and I'm vulnerable. My friends want to go out and drink and party and all that. And I was drinking heavy. I've been sober for about 2.5 years now. And I was drinking heavy, not because like, oh, like I couldn't control my, like, I was just in a dark place. I just wanted to numb that feeling. So I had to stop hanging out with those guys. Yeah. Not saying they was bad people, but they was just bad for my situation. So I started hanging out with people that was similar mindset, where it's like, hey, we're not going to force you to drink. We're all about, like you said, uplifting kings. And I was like, bet. And that helped me out so much, because now when I express myself, it's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. This is that. Like, now we're able to have an adult conversation where it's not like, oh, you weak, son. Like, get out of here. It's okay, I like, man to man, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, having that circle around you, I guess people who are, one, tell you the truth about what you're going through, tell you the truth without hurting your feelings.
Yeah.
Even I have my male friends who, to this day, that we're close and like brothers. If I'm going through something, they'll tell me the truth. Your circle is not your yes man. Yeah. They're not going to tell you, oh, you're doing great. Like, bro, come here. You up.
Yeah, you tripping. You
tripping.
About to mess something up, man. You tripping. Yeah.
I don't have conversations like, damn, I don't want to hear that, but I needed that. Yeah. Instead of having, man, or talking about your feelings.
No, trust me. Yeah. Like, now that, especially like now that I'm married, so like a couple of my friends are married. So it's like, when you have like a argument between you and your spouse, and you're like, yeah, man, let me talk to my homie about this. And they look at you like, bro, you tripping, man. She right. You need to start doing this and that. And it's like, perfect, yo. Yeah, I am tripping. thanks for telling me that I was bugging out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Let me put the toilet seat down and stop telling her to look down first. Like stuff like that, you know? So it's like, okay, yeah, you're right. All right, I can put the toilet seat down. I am tripping. I'm starting an argument over that, you know? So it's good to have people like that. Yeah, you're 100% right.
100% just having that great circle around you,
Yeah.
having people that you trust, pretty much that we covered. Before we go, my last question is: you get up in the morning, see your face, brushing your teeth, or whatever the case. My question is, what motivates you?
My family, man. My family. Being in a position where I thought I was never gonna get married, have a family, or anything like that, because I was told you that cloud.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now being able to wake up every morning and having their support and their love, it's something that like words can't explain. Like simple as that. Like, it's like, man, this gets me going. When I sit back and I look in my wife's eyes and I think about that moment when I was laid out in the bathroom floor in my darkest hour, to see her turn around and say, hey, baby, I love you. That's something that's like, man, 5 years ago, I wouldn't even imagine hearing his voice, let alone waking up to her. So that definitely motivates me.
That's awesome. Just to have that constant
drive
to keep going.
Yeah.
Every single morning. That's some people don't even have a purpose to walk to, to get up for. To have that drive every single day. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, that's my. She sit back and she will judge some of my videos like, that one was all right today. You need to do better. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to do better. So it's stuff like that like helps me out.
Yeah.
Even the conversations and letting her, because she was the first one I was vulnerable to, and watching her not judge me was like something I was like, wow, like, I thought she was gonna look at me like if I was psychotic, and to have her in my corner then, and especially now, is dope. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, like she gets me going. You know what I mean? She helps me when I need to escape.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. Having that great queen next to you, and you can be raw with.
Yeah.
And you can tell her, this is what I'm going through. Like, you won't even hold no punches. This is what I'm going through. Instead of judging you, like, okay, we'll get through this together.
Yeah. And it's so much easier when you have someone that you can go through that process with, man. Because healing, something that doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily process of just trying to learn how to cleanse.
Yeah, I feel like healing can also be a process of yourself, of course, and also the great people around you that add to your healing process. People that you can trust, also people that you can go to and tell your problems to, and they can probably go to you in the future. I'm like, hey, I helped you out. That's what we do for each other.
Yeah,
great
like
friends.
no. Even on IG, like now, people have been seeing me and started growing with me, and now like we have a little group where it's like, oh, hey, you doing all right? You doing all right? You doing okay? Because I took a little break from social media because I had a passing in my family, and so I was like, yo, I'm mentally, I'm done. Like, from every time I log in, I see something where somebody like you and I getting hurt, or I was like, I'm just done. I just need a moment to just recharge.
Yeah.
And the same people reached out to me and was like, hey, you doing okay? I just wanted to make sure you're good. You don't got to post anything. And I was like, yo, that's dope. Like now, like, it's like a little group where it's like, yo, everybody's checking in on each other. Like, yo, I haven't seen you post in a while. You doing okay? All right, cool. I just want to make sure you're good and not in a dark place. And I'm like, oh, that's love. And I think it's dope the fact that
that's legit love.
To get that support. Yeah. It's like, oh, I had probably like 20 people that reached out to me when I didn't post for those 2 or 3 weeks. And I was like, oh man, that's dope,
Mm-hmm.
So I think
21,
it's dope.
I got your back too.
yeah. Nah, it's all good. Yeah, of course. So I was like, it's good to see that, like, not only like they like my content, but they mess around with like, they got my back. All right, cool. It's not just I like your content, I'm gonna share it. It's like, I want to make sure you're good.
Yeah. Before we go, I just want to say this was amazing.
Likewise, man.
Like we can talk for hours. We definitely want to do this again. Before we go, feel free to share with the audience your social media. Where can they find you at?
All right, sure. On my social media, you can find me on IG and Facebook at HB Mack. That's HB MACK. I try to post almost every day. I do a Monday through Friday good morning video. I try to do some positive thoughts. Sometimes everything is not going to be positive. It's just to make you think. But I do a lot of positive quotes. I try to do daily. I got a lot on my plate, so
Yeah.
so I try to do it as much as I can. Some days I won't do it. Like Sunday is that's just my family day where I just mentally take a break from social media.
Yeah. Nice.
But other than that, I do it Monday through Friday with my videos, and Saturdays I just might post a couple of quotes here and there.
Yeah.
But you can check me out on those two platforms.
Anybody that's watching, please watch this channel. It's amazing. For any motivation, you get it daily. This is
Yeah.
this is a great man right here.
Thanks,
I
man.
definitely
Likewise
appreciate
with you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Episode 8 was amazing. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Thank you.